All right, everybody, breaking into coverage here to give you guys the latest update here out of Tyler. Our very own Emma Burns joins us here on the desk to give us the latest here from Tyler's meeting this morning.
Yeah, of course. There were a few things they discussed this morning. Wasn't like a crazy morning for us, but there were a few big things to chat about for us. So I think we're going to start out by talking about some improvements that are coming to the city's water line. So Tyler Water Utilities improvements throughout the city. Since 2017, the city has been in a consent decree with the Environmental Protection Agency to improve sewer lines and drainage all throughout the city. And now if you've been driving around downtown Tyler, especially by the library in that area, you've definitely seen some of this going on. So this morning they're continuing to approve some contracts to keep the projects rolling on, and they approved some money this morning to go towards adding about 12,000 feet of sewer line, just over 12,000 feet of sewer line in the city, as well as bringing improvements to water mains. So I was able to speak with the city's utilities director to kind of talk about, what exactly the consent decree is and what's next. Now, what is it going toward?
So this work is going toward kind of two different types of projects that we have that are delineated in the consent decree, one of which is capacity work, where we're increasing the capacity of our sewer system. And what that does is it helps us ensure that we don't have sanitary sewer overflows and that we have enough capacity for development and growth. It's all based on a hydraulic model that we did back in 2020. The other work that we do is our remediation or remedial measures, and that work is associated with pipe inspection that we go through and do every year in different segments of the city. Based on those CCTV inspections of inside the pipe, we can see if there are breaks, roots, different types of intrusions and defects that we need to correct. And so that work is based on not really upsizing anything, but ensuring that we can fix those breaks. Lots of point repairs. We use different types of construction for both capacity and for the remedial measures. So there will be road closures, especially with open cut work. So when I say open cut, that's where they're actually digging into the ground, making a trench, taking pipe out, putting pipe in, repairing it. So with those open the open cut work, there usually is some sort of traffic mitigation we need to look at and road closures. We do cross very busy intersections and some TxDOT roadways. And right-of-ways, we try and do boring, which is where we will actually run a pipe, use a machine to run a pipe underneath the ground, so we don't actually have to open cut like a very busy intersection like Troop in the Loop or something like that. That does tend to be more expensive than open cut, but the delays offset the cost. So. And then the other types of like pipe bursting, that's another thing with both boring, pipe bursting, and the CIPP, which is cured in place pipe. There's always access points, so we have to get to the pipe somehow. So there's like boring pits or the pipe bursting pit where it'll be a large kind of open cut space, but that'll enable us to work on many linear feet of piping along the way. Sometimes there will be closures for when we do CIPP, where we're putting kind of running a sock through the line and then curing it. We will have to set up bypass pumping, which will, require potentially some traffic control as well.
And that's not the only update that you have here. You also have another soundbite for us, talking a little bit more about tax abatement.
Yeah, so if you guys are unsure of what exactly a tax abatement is before we get into it. So a tax abatement is basically when the city can give, a partial or even a complete, tax relief to different companies, property tax relief, to kind of incentivize them to, bring their company in, bring jobs to Tyler. And this morning they presented a couple, or three companies that have kind of exceeded some expectations of those abatement agreements. So you can see on your screen those Train Technologies, Highland Dairy, and Hood Packaging. So in 2025, Highland Dairy had a 100% abatement, and then Train and Hood, they both had an 80%. And now Train actually brought in a lot of jobs, over 1,000 jobs, and created a lot here. In total, it's over close to 2,500 jobs it's created and,
Wow.
and maintained here in Tyler throughout all these companies. And between all of them, they've invested $200 million, over $200 million into our
Wow.
Tyler community.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of, that was my reaction too. It's
That's
a
a
lot. And it's just
lot.
those three. And so I was able to speak with the city's assistant city manager, Heather Nick, talking about, why this is important and how it kind of gives back to the community.
Take a listen.
Our tax abatements that we reviewed today, our annual review, are really for the economic development of our city. And today we reviewed Train Technologies, Highland Dairy, and Hood Packaging. And what we're really trying to incentivize are companies bringing new jobs, retaining new jobs, and reinvesting in our community. These tax abatements are important to incentivize bringing jobs and the reinvestment into our community and keeping that investment within our community. We're really excited that we can report for the 2025 year that these companies brought in 1,588 jobs and invested approximately $200 million into our community.
Well, Emma, with that said, although it is a lot of money, great updates overall.
Yeah, it's a great, especially giving back to our local economy and creating so many jobs for folks. So hats off to them. And I'm excited to kind of see, what Tyler does that continues to grow, because she says, as the city continues to grow, more opportunities for businesses will be available to kind of incentivize them to come into town and make some jobs for Tylerites.
All right, well, look into the future. Hopefully we'll learn more later in our newscast. Emma, thank you.
You will. Bye.